with the woman because of the authority and the physical presence of a man. Men do it for the will of a woman out of the want for the woman and making sure she's happy or whatever the case. That's why men do it. And some men don't like it. I didn't either. I was the same way as my man right here, Gordon something. I was the same way. I did not like the word. I was like, I ain't submitting to no woman. Then when I read the definition, I'm like, well, I know what women want, just like any other man. And we give them what they want when we trying to date them. That's a level of submission or submitting to that woman. Providing for a woman, you know that's a requirement of that woman. You know it's the will of that woman, and you do it as a
So, quick
man
question.
that's
We're
submitting
gonna
to what she wants.
a slight change, but so what role do you think in the dating phase a woman should operate and move in regards to, right? So say you're taking your woman out and things like that. Um, y'all, you're in a relationship, dating or whatnot. Is there expectation that, like, say you take this woman out all the time, you expect her to what? In return for you doing this, or the average man doing this, not necessarily yourself, but yourself, and then separate yourself, because I think sometimes men, depending on your earning status, you like, hey, I'm taking you out all the time. I want to be taken out too. Like, what is their expectation for the woman to also take you out? What does that look like? What does those dynamics?
For me personally,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, I never expect a woman to take me out. I never expect a woman to take me out. Um, if we going out,
Yeah, but
she all right, she with me. I don't expect a woman to take me out. But one thing I do appreciate, when I'm out with a woman or whatever, if the bill come, let's say we eating, and she like, yo, you pay for the dates, whatever. I got the tip, whatever. I like stuff like that. I'm not gonna ask you to do it, but I like stuff like that. But I don't expect a woman to
I'm
say, to
saying for
to
the
take me
average
out.
man then, right?
That ain't
Because like I
something
said,
that I'm
it
just.
depends, right? Because like when you're a high income earner,
I
yeah, that
don't.
stuff don't matter as much, right? Because you're like, I'm good, right? But for some men, that could be a little bit like, hey, I didn't took you out the last, several dates, or I don't know what that number looks like. Uh, so the next one's on you.
I mean, I
Or do
guess
you do
it's
you feel
men
like
that do it.
men
I'm
the
sure it
entire
is.
time
And
you
I
dating
mean,
in a
some.
relationship is always on them, or that is the go-to? How do you think that type of?
I, I don't think it's a right and wrong, right?
Yeah, okay.
I personally don't worry about date money. If I'm going, if I'm asking to go out on a date, or I want a woman, what I'm saying, to go out with me, whatever the case, I'm not concerned with the date money. So she don't need no money. She good. She with me. So I mean, but some guys do, I guess, want a woman to pay some, or take, or
Yeah,
if
I'm
she
talking about
asks him to go
after you
out
guys have
on the
gone
date,
out on a
then
few
he
dates,
expect
right?
her
This
to pay.
isn't the
If
first,
a
second
woman,
date. This is like,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If she want to pay,
okay.
she better pay before I know, before I see the bill. Like, that's just what it is. Pay ahead of time. Don't tell me, you're gonna do this or whatever, because I'm gonna be like,
Okay, but
yeah.
that's
So
that's
I
that's not
mean,
how
you know,
all men feel. So
I'd
you
allow
say it's
it
not
because
it's not a right or wrong. What do you think? Uh how do you feel like most men, you know? 'Cause,
I don't know.
so think 10
because
years
the
ago
circle that
when
I
you
run in,
were early 30s,
like,
maybe not making as much.
it don't matter. It don't matter. I've been in my career 24 years, so I've been doing okay for a long time. So I can't really put myself in it like that. So, but I'm gonna have to do a survey. I'm gonna have to put a survey
Okay.
up about the men. Hold on, let me jot this down so I don't forget it.
after how many
So
like
you want to
dates,
know
like
if
what
they
is it? You know,
expect.
I think it may need to be two different surveys, like, but pretty much just what is the expectation for a woman that you're dating to kind of like, hey, you're taking her out on dates. What does that expectation look like for her to take you out on dates? Like, I guess, you know, some men, I feel like they tallied up. Like, I took you on 4 dates. Like, you gonna cover something? What?
I I think men will be. I think men will be. To be quite honest, let me be quite honest with it, right? So I think men will be looking more at, you know, sexual
Mhm.
things instead of
But say
the monetary
that's
thing.
already happening.
As a like, okay, you done took me out for 2 months. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to really, I'm gonna have to think about these questions and put them up to see how the men feel about it. Um, you know, if I take a woman out, I ain't I ain't expecting nothing. I used to back in my day, but I'm just trying to go out and enjoy myself, whatever the case. Like, um, I don't expect the woman to take me out. Even if she asks, I don't expect her to pay. That's just what it is. But men, I think they'd be okay with sex instead of having her pay for the meal.
Yeah. Well, men,
That's just how I feel
this new
about it.
breed
But
of
I'm gonna
men
post a
think they
couple
the prize
surveys and see,
too. So they
'cause I'm
like,
curious.
hey, I want. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that, but when it goes more into
What's
that,
wrong
where
with
I feel
that?
like they like, I want to be taken out too. I didn't took, or I've had some men ask me the question like, is it okay? How many? They've asked me like, how many dates should I take a woman out before I'm asking her to cover the meal, or like, hey, you should be paying. I'm not gonna lie. I had a 60-year
Really?
old man who was
How old
back
was
in
these
the
dudes?
field who asked me this question. Who said, "Hey, I'm dating a younger woman, and what's the expectations? Like, I don't know how this stuff works." Then I'm like, sir, I said, and he's like, so should I ask her to
Oh
cover half of
man, that's
the
tough.
tip if I'm paying the full meal? I said, what date is this? Like, I think it, especially the first few days, I think it is appropriate for the man to be covering the expense, right? I think that's probably expectation for most women. After,
I mean, this the way I see it is like as men, you know, a lot of dudes have an issue with
mhm.
that. You know, with spending money and not really getting nothing out of it. Kind of like women have an issue having sex with a dude and not really getting nothing out of it, right? From both sides, but as the man, I think asking the woman to go out and approaching her and wanting to get to know her and these because 9 times out of 10 a woman ain't doing it. You you gonna have to put something out there. You gonna have to sacrifice something, and those dates and that date money is usually the something that you sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just something that most men know
Nope,
off bat.
they
I
clearly don't
thought
know.
anyway.
Um,
So I mean, I don't care. Like, I mean, if I take you out on a couple dates and it don't turn into nothing, or we don't have sex or whatever, I mean, at this particular point, I don't like look for that like I used to when I was a hoe. Man, if I took you out and you wasn't busting it open after, I wouldn't be being bothered with you after that. I was gonna take you out again. You wasn't going out with me again after that. But now, more mature, you mature through things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like that ain't something that like I ain't don't get me wrong, I'm a man, right? I'm a man, and of course as a man, you still look, I wanna bend you over the balcony like any other man. But it's not like it's something that I'm going for. I'm gonna be upset if we don't work out or I don't hit or something like that. Like we just went out. I enjoyed myself while we was out, it was what it was.
Mhm.
So, it's a little different. It's a little different now. I don't expect things, and I think that those types of men expect a woman to pay or to get sex or something from it, and that's when they become disappointed and disgruntled when they don't get what they want or they feel used for the money that they spent on the date. That's
Okay.
why, I
Yeah.
don't care
So
nothing about the
something
date
you
no
had
more.
mentioned earlier, very